Hi, this is Ivan Tampi here from Ivan Tampi Customs. I'm here to show you guys how to install our XIK diffuser step by step. And if you purchase a set from us, it'll be easy for you guys to do it. Okay? Keep tuned with us. Here, first step is you want to have the car on lifted on the rear. So what I'm doing is I'm lifting it with a jack approximately, I would say, 2 feet off the ground, so it would have access to go underneath and take off the bolts. Okay. Hi, this is Ivan again. The reason I want you guys to have it in jack stands or lift it with a jack is you got to have access to the bottom. Now I'm gonna take off those 7mm bolts. There's approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 per side on a Z06 or 5 on a Stingray. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay. This guy's been off-roading, a lot of mud. Now we have to do the other side as well. Okay, so there's about, I don't know, 12 bolts in there, 7mm. Okay. Okay, next would be basically after taking out the 7mm bolts, now you gotta change your tip to a 10mm bolt because we gotta take out those two 10mm bolts right where the exhaust system is. Okay. You need an extension. This is a little bit deep. Okay, there's two. Okay. Okay, the next step after taking out those two 10mm bolts is to take this part and snap it. It's basically what we call the side vents. It's for the exhaust, for the, I think, for the cooler. So you gotta unsnap the diffuser part to the stock bumper. You gotta be careful because you don't wanna break the tabs. Okay, it's a little bit fragile. See that? So just gonna pull the bottom and then yank it towards you, okay, so that you don't break that, and you slowly do that per side. Okay, so now what happens is once this is off, you can see that the whole diffuser is hanging. That gives you access to have your hand to tighten up the bolts when you put the diffuser. Later on I'll show you that video. Okay, the next step is after you put the template in, you see on the template says drill hole. So you gotta make a hole. So I like to do is I'll probably set it up in about I would say 7/16. Okay, so I have a bit like this, and it tells you what size it is. I like to make it bigger than the stock bolt that's in the diffuser, so you got a little bit of a play. Okay, here we go. Try to center it and then drill. Okay, so now that's done. And we can do the other side. And make sure the hole is big enough. Set up at 7/16. The 7/16 is there. Okay. There you go. Okay, 7/16. So now we have to do the other side. So the only thing you have to do is flip the template this way, and you know how it goes on the other side already. Is that right? Okay, now next step is basically once you've done the drilling, is to install the diffuser. These are the XIK diffuser, our creative design. I designed personally. Anyhow, this one in particular has what we call the carbon reflection. It has the carbon fiber with a red weave, and it looks really good. I don't know if you can see that. It changed the colors from a regular carbon fiber to a red weave. Anyhow, enough of that. You're gonna get the product like this, and you're gonna see there's 2 bolts in the back. It comes with the washer and the nut. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to take off the nut using a 7/16. So you need a 7/16 wrench. I would say get an adjustable wrench, so it's a lot easier to work with. Okay. The other one off. There you go. Take the nut and the washer off, and it's ready to be placed in the car. Okay, this side in particular is the right side. So and also make sure don't hit your foot on that jack like what I just did. Okay, so place it there. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, after you put it, make sure when you bring the diffuser and put it in the stock diffuser, you got the nuts and the bolts in your hand, because it's gonna be hanging by itself. You might just drop it and then end up cracking it, and you might have to order another one. I don't know if you can see that the shape is different. What the part that goes straight is the outer part, and the one that goes slanted, it's a bigger side, is on the middle of the car. Okay, so there you go. Now we need to put the nuts and the bolts, I mean the washer and the nuts on the back. That's the reason we had to take out all those bolts, so the thing is hanging. See, it's loose. So what you can do is you can reach out, reach in and put the nuts, and just make sure you got an extra hand just in case, because you don't want this to drop. It's expensive, you know. There you go. First thing, you gotta hand tight it, right? See, once you put one bolt in, one nut in, you're pretty much okay. Okay. It also helps if you have a longer arm. God didn't give me that gift. Okay. The reason I want you guys to make the bolt, the hole a little bit bigger, so there's a little bit of a play. You see that? Before you tighten it up, you want to make sure that the groove on the stock diffuser lines up really well before you make it tight. See that? So there's a little bit of play. What I like to do is I like to line it up. You see there's a line over here? And then there's a line groove on the XIK diffuser. Yeah, you just want to make that lined up before you tighten it up. So let me just grab my 7/16. wrench, this one. Okay. Make sure it's clockwise set. A lot of people ask me, do you have to take the whole rear bumper off? No. And that'll be a pain because this car in particular has so much bolts and it takes time to take off the rear bumper. So, okay. One more. So I want to make sure that's lining up on the other side. Okay, it is. There you go. Now that's secured. Okay. We're gonna do the other side now. Okay, now once we tighten out the nut on the back of the XIK diffuser, you can see it's hanging, right? What's securing the bottom? Nothing yet. But the next step is, before we do the drilling on the bottom of the XIK diffuser, you wanna snap this back in. You see this part right here? You want to snap that back in. There you go. That's done. The other side. Okay. So the next step is, you see that the stock, the XIK diffuser is kind of hanging. It's only 2 bolts holding in the top. So we have to create 2 bottom holes so we can mount it from the bottom using the stock bolts. I don't know if you guys can see this, but yeah. There's gonna be 2 bolts drilled in the bottom, okay? There's the stock holes. So what we need to do is we need to line it up with the XIK diffuser, and then I have to drill a hole. So that allows me to use the stock bolts later on. So it's right there. There's one hole, and then there's another hole right there. Okay, so what we do is we push it in and line it up and kind of eyeball it and drill the hole. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, now I just drilled the holes in the bottom, and time to put back the stock 7mm bolts. Okay. This is so that it secures the strength of the XIK diffuser. Okay. Sometimes you have to wiggle it to see make sure you get the right hole. Okay? Now after I put those 2 bolts to secure the XIK diffuser, I just basically try to put the rest of the 7mm bolts on the side. Keep in mind, a Z06 has a total of 7 millimeter bolts per side, and a Stingray got a total of 5 millimeter bolts per side. Yes, we're almost done. Time to do the other side. See, that's pretty secure right now. See that? That ain't going anywhere. That's pretty solid. Okay? So now all the 7 millimeter bolts are installed in the bottom. Basically, the last part is just putting the 10 millimeter bolt back right by the exhaust systems. That's one. Two. Voila, we're done. Now time to put the card back down. It's that easy. It probably takes you less than an hour to do both diffuser. But if you have any questions, you can always call us at 818-688-3584, and we can tell you how to install it, or visit us online at www.ivantampicustoms.com.